So are Toyota Tacoma buyers speaking with their wallets, or is it maybe something else? You know, it seems that inventory of the new Toyota Tacoma is growing. I keep hearing from people that at their dealerships they have rows and rows of them. Now, I have to say that in my experience between Ohio and Texas in my areas, I really haven't seen rows and rows of Tacomas. However, I have seen inventory levels increasing. Now, it seems to be they come in spurts, you know. There's a few of one particular trim level or maybe two, and that's it. It's not like what we used to have where you could go to the lot and there'd be different models that you could choose from, and you might have rows and rows. So I think while the inventory is growing, the general total population of Tacomas is not yet. Now, we might see more of that if indeed it's true that they are starting to pile up on the lots. Yeah, but maybe not. There's a couple of used Tacomas at that used Mercedes lot over there. So apparently some folks have traded off the third gens for Mercedes. I don't know. Now, when I talk about are people really speaking with their wallets? Well, ultimately they are. I mean, if nobody's buying them, you're kind of speaking with your wallet, aren't you? But I think there's maybe something more to it. Obviously, the price is higher. We all know that. But there are deals out there to be had now. You should be able to get anywhere between $1,500, $2,000, and $3,000, maybe even $4,000 off the price of a new Tacoma. It's because the initial, I guess, demand for them has worn off. Now everybody that just had to have one has it, and the dealers are now trying to sell to just people who are looking for trucks. The general public, I guess. People that may not have to have one. You know, if you've got a third gen Tacoma and it's got, doesn't even have to have really low miles on it, there's no reason to trade it. You just kind of hold on to what you have and don't go out and sock yourself with another loan with all that interest. And that's another reason, interest rates. You know, it may not have a thing to do with the new Tacoma itself in the form of really its price or whether people like it or not, which is more what I'm leaning towards, I guess, but more so the interest rates. You know, you're going to pay a lot of money additionally on any new vehicle that you buy right now because the interest rates are high. And I have heard that truck sales in general are down. It's not just the Toyota Tacoma. Certainly we know the Tundra is down as well. I will say that in all of the lots that I went and looked at, did a little lot walking, there were at least 1 to 2 rows, several new Tundras sitting there. Of course, part of that's probably some of the engine problems that Toyota's had. If you didn't hear, you haven't heard, apparently in the manufacturing process, Toyota left some waste or slag or left over ground up metal inside the engines. Not a good thing, not a good thing at all. They are replacing, I believe, all of them that could have that problem. So kudos to Toyota. It's a pain in the arse for the owner. I mean, you got to take the truck in, you got to wait for a new engine to be put in, and then hope that there aren't any extra problems caused because of that. But anyway, they're taking care of it anyhow. So we've got the higher price, we've got interest rates, but the other thing is the press. The fear that the press puts out. You know, if you pay attention to the news, and I've kind of become more aware of this myself, not just with the economy, but with other things. If you would pay attention to the news, you probably would stay in your house and never go anywhere. You'd have a stockpile of food and toilet paper and water because the news makes it sound like the end of the world is here. And they're doing that with the economy. Jobs are down, and I'm not saying some of this isn't true. Obviously, prices have gone up, things are going on, people are hurting. I'm not saying that at all. But the media throws it in everybody's face constantly. I mean, you can't hardly look at a headline on any news site, regardless of what flavor you choose to watch, without doom and gloom about the economy, how things are so horrible. And of course, people react to that. I mean, look at the great sickness that happened a while back. If you want proof, the great sickness came about, and my God, man, the grocery stores emptied. People staying at home, masks everywhere. It was insanity. Now, it's not to say it wasn't serious. Once again, anything that makes a large number of people sick is serious. But in the end, I don't think it was necessarily as horrid as the press made it out to be. They had everybody worried about everything. And I still see it flaring up here and there. You hear about pockets of the great sickness rearing its ugly head again. But it's not the mass hysteria that we had before. Why? Because I think people have realized that it's not as horrible as the press makes it out to be. So I'm not sure that, you know, people really hate the new Tacoma. I mean, I know there are some people that do, obviously, but there are people that are going to hate everything, right? Doesn't really matter. I'm talking about your middle of the line, normal consumer out there. I don't know that they really hate the new Tacoma and that the new 4-cylinder turbo engine is a big hang-up. I mean, it is a Toyota. It's not like Toyota's going to turn their back on their quality and reliability, the reputation that they've built up over years. That doesn't make any sense. It's not good business, and it's not something that I believe Toyota would do. So I think it's really just a factor of those three things. I think the Tacoma will take off again. I think it will remain the number one mid-size truck simply because it is awesome. And if you haven't, even if you're not in the market, maybe you're just curious, maybe you're driving a 3rd gen, you're perfectly happy with it, or maybe even a 2nd or 1st gen, you owe it to yourself to go out and take a ride in the truck. Just see what it's like so that you can experience it yourself without relying on all of the talking heads out there trying to convince you one way or the other. And by the way, that's not something I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to convince you to buy a new Tacoma or not. I am not compensated by Toyota for anything. So I have no skin in the game. It doesn't really make any difference to me whether you buy a new Tacoma or not. But you owe it to yourself to get out there and give one a try, just so you know what it's like, so that you can experience it yourself. And don't pay attention to the trolls. Obviously, I'm in my Tacoma right now. Of course, I'm following behind this lovely trailer that's driving it. There went a Tacoma right past us there. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to mention. Down here in South Texas, Tacomas everywhere, everywhere. When I was in Ohio, the Columbus area, you could go days without seeing a Toyota Tacoma. It's the damnedest thing. I mean, you know, you kind of believe that they're popular wherever you are, and that's not necessarily true. It does seem to be regional to me. Kind of depends on where you're at. So anyway, leave a comment, let me know if you agree. Is there more to it than people just don't like the new Tacoma? I'd be curious to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.